Ladies and gentlemen, as we are about to begin, please be seated. I request all of you to kindly switch your mobile phones to the silent mode so as to avoid any interruption. Thank you very much for your kind cooperation. Dear industry leaders, academic faculty, honored guests, and invited delegates, good morning. My name is Vicky, and I will be serving as your MC this morning. On behalf of the Macau Institute for Tourism Study, we would like to welcome you all to the first Regional Tourism Education Student Summit 2021. The morning portion of today's section will consist of an inspiring keynote address, followed by 2 simultaneous panel presentations, highlighting 4 venues, showing students' research findings of 24 top students researchers. To officially open our full-day event, may I invite the president of IFTM, Dr. Fanny Wong, to deliver her official welcome to start off the event.
Good morning, honored guests. On behalf of IFTM and our co-sponsor MGM Macau, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you, to government officials, industry partners, academic colleagues, students, and community members who are both present here and online. This year, the Tourism Education Student Summit is in its 6th year running. And as I look into the faces of our cherished partners, colleagues, and friends assembled here today, I can't help but take pride in its rapid growth in scope and size over the years. When the Macau Institute for Tourism Studies committed to the implementation of an individual research component as a graduation requirement for its English degree programs, we hadn't anticipated the transformational nature that guiding students to take an investigative approach to understanding the reality around them would have. Through the process of objective questioning, careful observation, ethical collection of evidence, and rigorous analysis of data, students do not just complete a program requirement, but demonstrate the application of knowledge, skills, and capacity expected of leading professionals. The Tourism Education Student Summit, or TED Summit events, began with a simple objective to create a networking opportunity, linking graduating students with our industry partners. In its first 2 years, the half-day event was facilitated on IFTM's Mongha campus twice annually. Each event grew rapidly in its capacity to attract greater numbers of industry professionals of higher and higher levels. In advance of the first full-day summit event held in 2018, we sent out an open call to all Macau Hotel Association members, asking for their consideration to serve as co-sponsors with us in hosting the event. And the response we received was beyond our expectation. So, TED Summit 2018 was held at the Regency Arts Hotel. TED Summit 2019 was held at the JW Marriott Hotel, which is a Galaxy Entertainment Group property. And TED Summit 2020 was to be held at MGM. Unfortunately, in 2020, when our expected partnership with MGM Macau arrived, COVID-19 delayed its fruition, and the event was converted to virtual formats instead. If we were in need of confirmation as to whether or not we were on the right track, this indeed was attained when the TED Summit garnered international recognition from the Asia Pacific Tourism Association in the form of a 2020 Part Gold Award in the area of human capital development. This year, together with our long-awaited partner, MGM Macau, we are once again setting new precedents in the history of the TED Summit. This is the first regional tourism education student summit event with participation from undergraduate researchers from the Greater Bay Area. And the entire event is being broadcast live. Education in general, and higher education in particular, has a responsibility to nurture future potential. This is our community mandate. And scanning through the range and scope of topics that will be presented in today's TED Summit 2021 event, there is evidence we are fulfilling this promise. I'm confident that in the form of the student researchers scheduled to present the findings to us today, potential is being realized right before our very eyes. That said, acknowledgement most certainly goes to the wide diversity of academic faculty who patiently guided the candidates through this journey from conceptualization to realization. The invaluable assistance from research and writing support centers, the administrative support team who managed the process, and so many others behind the scenes. And special thanks to our partner, MGM Macau. They have waited together with us for over a year. They never wavered their support. And now today we're here together with them hosting this wonderful event. These tenacious youth sitting amongst us today have the capacity to lead our industry into the future, equipped with the necessary tools to help it adapt and respond to changing times. After participating in today's event, I hope that you, like myself, breathe a sigh of relief that the future sustainability of our industry is in good hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wong, for sharing her welcoming speech to all of us. Once again, welcome. Now, it's my great honor to introduce our first keynote speaker, an internationally recognized researcher and scholar, associate editor for one of the leading academic journals, Tourism Management, and an esteemed faculty member of the Macau Institute for Tourism Studies, Dr. Yang Jingjing. Having worked both in academia and policy advisement, and in the area of tourism planning and policy advisement, Dr. Yang today will share valuable insights into government, industry, education, research collaboration. Dear all, please join me in welcoming Dr. Yang Jingjing onto the stage.
Hello. Dear distinguished FTM President Dr. Fanny Wang, dear distinguished industry panelists, dear academic researchers, dear students, dear attendees, good morning and welcome. A few days ago, on the Greater Bay Area Smart Tourism Conference, our president, Dr. Fanny Wang, mentioned we are lucky that we are in the Greater Bay Area, so we can still hold big conference during the COVID-19. I totally agree, and also I feel grateful that I'm working at Macau Institute for Tourism Studies. And also I feel lucky and grateful that I work and live in Macau during the COVID-19. And today, as several colleagues of ITM are here, Fanny, Connie, Laurie, and also Vicky, and also other colleagues. I really want to take this chance to say thank you to all of you for your help, for your support, for your consideration, for your tolerance, and for your love during my first year working at FTM. Thank you very much. I also want to say thank you to MGM directors. Thank you for your generous support on the conference so that I can present in this beautiful venue. Thank you very much. The past weekend was not a happy weekend because the death of the national hero, Yuan Dongping, because 21 runners died in the ultra marathon in Gansu province. This news made me think about the meaning of life and also how we can contribute to the society. Today, my presentation is about government, industry, education, research collaboration. Why do I choose this topic? Because this is important. This is important to the development, especially for tourism, because tourism involves multiple stakeholders, tourism involves multiple sectors. It is important to the development of community. It is important to the development of city, of region, of country, and also of the world. This is needed. This is needed by government. This is needed by industry. This is needed by educational and research institutions. So that's why the governments, including the national governments, regional governments, and also local governments, promote the collaboration of government, industry, education, research collaboration. And China President Xi Jinping encouraged the researchers to write papers on the motherland. So that is to bring the gaps between theory and practice, to bring the research results into solving the real problems in the reality. And that's also why I researched this topic in recent years. Based on my own working experience in government, in industry, in educational institutions in New Zealand, in UK, England, in Beijing, in Heilongjiang province, in Xinjiang, and also in Macau. And I published 2 papers. One is on a Chinese leading tourism journal, and one is on English international tourism journal. Another paper gets rejected. Yes, my paper also got rejected. Yeah. Okay, government, industry, education risk collaboration has been highly addressed and also been frequently practiced in China. And such collaboration are about different forms. For example, expert committee for government, for example, training, for example, internship. These collaborations significantly contribute to the development of China nationally, regionally, and also locally. Yeah, probably TM want to show, I'm associate editor of the journal, one of the leading journals in tourism. I don't know, I don't want you to see it so soon, but it comes, okay. Nationally, okay, can I go back? It doesn't matter, okay. Nationally, the governments, industry, educational institutions collaborate on reducing the COVID-19 negative impacts and work together to reduce the negative impacts. We work together to see how we can recover. China Tourism Academy is a national tourism research institute. It has been positively promoting the government, industry, education, research collaboration. And regionally, we have different kinds of collaborations in the Greater Bay Area. For example, FTM collaborates with Guangdong provincial government. And last year, in December, FTM teachers provided training for the tourism directors of 9 cities in Guangdong province. Yeah. And also, last month, okay. Good picture. Last month, FTM established collaboration with Shunde government and also an education institution in Shunde. And we established the Greater Bay Area Tourism Education Training Center, Shunde Collaboration Center. And also globally, today, the conference is a perfect example of effective government, industry, education, research collaboration because we have representatives from government, our our Macau government tourism office director will deliver a keynote presentation in the afternoon. And also we have representatives from industry, from academics, and also from education. Tourism collaboration in China. Well, for this topic, I have been interviewed over 20 tourism school heads and also tourism department heads in China. And one of the leading professors told me that, okay, the collaboration in China is an ecological system. The different segments, the government, the industry, education, research, are interlinked. It's like 1 is a part of 2, 2 is a part of 3, 3 is a part of 4. It shows the close link among the different parts. Okay, we have different collaborations. We have different forms of collaboration. We collaborate with different people, different organizations. Then we collaborate for different purposes, right? On different aspects. We have different forms. And we have different demands. We have different motivations for collaboration. That means, okay, in the process, sometimes there's tension, disagreement, or gaps. Then, doesn't mean we stop collaboration. No. Now, what should I do? What should we do? Okay, so this is one of my research areas, social conflict and collaboration. In my research, I address the positive functions of social conflict. So when we talk about social conflict, we always avoid it, or hide it, or solve it as soon as possible. But actually, in the longer term, the social conflict can also have a positive functions to the community, because the tensions, the disagreement, make us to understand each other more, right? And then to make us avoid such issues in the future collaboration. So from the longer term, the conflict, the tension, the disagreement could have positive impacts on the development of the community. So that's the positive functions of social conflict from a long term. Then, what should we do? We collaborate or not collaborate? What should we do? I hope the conference could go smoothly, so that's why I want to use 6 points to illustrate, if I can remember. First, today we collaborate with different types of collaborators in different cultural contexts at different locations, right? So that's why we need to understand, we need to have a clear, comprehensive, and deep understanding about the environments. Such environments include economic environment, social environment, political environment, cultural environments, technological environments. Why? Because a good understanding about the environments, what is happening on in the world, help us to make the right decision, help us to understand whom we collaborate with and what we collaborate on. I always tell the students that direction is more important than working hard. So 方向比努力更重要. So we need to know the direction. Now we see the context of Macau. Now I think we need to know not only what is going on in Macau, but also what is going on in the Greater Bay Area, what is going on in China, and also what is going on in the world. Because this is an international city. Our tourists are from different parts of the world. Our residents are also from different parts of the world, right? So that's why we need to understand the environments comprehensively and deeply. It decides the direction of the collaboration. Secondly, regarding technological environment, this is the trend. It decides the future. Also, it impacts our daily life. Then how the government, industry, education institutions can collaborate to work on technology. How can government attract more high-end technology enterprises and attract high-skilled technicians. Well, economic benefits are the main aim for enterprises, yeah. But then how can we invest on long-term, high-risk technology sectors? So a balance of the different interests and also a balance of short-term and also long-term benefits. Third point is we need to understand deeply or clearly about our collaborators. We need to understand their motivations, why they collaborate with us. What are the underlying reasons for the collaboration? I'll give you a simple example. For academic researchers, sometimes we do questionnaire survey, right? To ask the tourists, why do you come to Macau? What's your motivation coming to Macau? They will not tell you they come for gaming. They will tell you that for food, yeah, for restaurant, for the beautiful area. Then, so sometimes people don't tell the real motivations. Another example, when I was working in CYTS, so one of the leading tour operators in China, Zhongqinglü, 15 years ago, then my responsibility was to deal with the quality management of inbound tourism, outbound tourism, national tourism, and also the over 20 agencies. Sometimes I receive call from customers. You know, in companies, sometimes we also go through like administrative procedure. If you complain, that means you need to fill the form. And some tourists, they don't want to fill the form, so that's why I say, no, it's just a suggestion. I just want your company to further improve. That's why I gave you a suggestion. They listen, and then they analyze. Okay, this is not only suggestion, this is a complaint. So I use my approach of dealing complaints to deal with the issue. Okay, so address again. Now we need to understand clearly the underlying factors of collaboration. Why do the collaborators collaborate? What are the underlying factors? The fourth point is we need to have an objective and positive attitudes towards the tension, disagreement, gaps. So even there's, disagreement, then we move forward and forward. And this also leads to the fifth point. We move forward and forward to enhance the communication between different segments. We need communication because even in a family, the different members disagree, right? So we have to have communication. And today's conference is a perfect example of this. Today, we have students presenting here. We have our industry panelists providing comments here. I really think our students are great because you have the confidence, you have the brief to present in front of the industry panelists. We know that, we have to admit, there is gap between theory and practice. There is gap between academic and also research and also reality. But today, we try to bring the gap. And also this is FT's advantage. So we try to bring different stakeholders come together to communicate. So the students, you are great. You are the stars. And also you are the leaders tomorrow. And I also want to say thank you to the industry panelists. I understand you are extremely busy. You have a lot of things to do, but today you come here, you provide comments on the student presentations. Well, as an educator, on the one hand, I hope you could be nice to our students. I hope you could provide positive comments on the students' presentation because this will give confidence to the students. This will encourage the students to work in tourism hospitality industries. But on the other hand, I hope you could give harsh comments to make the students know what is happening in the real world, the reality of tourism and hospitality industry. The last point I want to say is, I hope we could be positive. We could think over our own territory. We could think over our own department, over the business, over our own research area, we could think how we can contribute to the society and also to the world. The end, I hope the conference goes smoothly. I hope all of you enjoy this fruitful conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yang, for presenting on a topic that has deepened our understanding of the importance of collaborations between different parties. It's very true that every successful collaboration required, working among different parties. Now, may I ask Dr. Yang remain briefly on stage, and I would like to call upon the IFTM President, Dr. Fanny Wong, to present you with a small token of our appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, the first of our simultaneous panel presentation sections will begin promptly at 10:30. Please consult your program to determine which presentation you would like to attend. As you exit, guides will assist you to the presentation venues. Please note that each presentation should not exceed 20 minutes, so you will be free to target the presentation in the venues of your choice. Our staff will be outside of each venue and answer any questions you might have. At 11:30, there will be a brief period of refreshments served in the ballroom foyer just outside of the presentation venues, followed by the second simultaneous panel presentations at 12. Lunch will be served promptly at 1 p.m. Dear all, please enjoy your morning here at Tourism Education Student Summit 2021. Dear all, before we begin, may I kindly request all of you to double check whether your cell phones are on the silent mode so that any interruption could be avoided. Thank you again for your kind cooperation. Dear honored guests and delegates, we would like to extend a warm welcome to those industry leaders and attendees who have joined us for the afternoon section, both physically and remotely. I trust you enjoy lunch and the fruitful conversation that ensues. Now, it's my greatest honor to invite this afternoon's distinguished speaker, Dr. Maria Helena da Sena Fernandez, Director of Macau Government Tourism Office, to deliver the industry keynote address. Dr. Fernandez has over 30 years of experience in tourism marketing and promotion. She has been involved in tourism management and development, working hand in hand with related public and private sector stakeholders in Macau, and is abreast of the latest tourism developments. Over her career, she has served concurrently as member of various government advisory committees in Macau. In addition, she has been appointed to the Executive Board of the Pacific Asia Travel Association as a non-voting member. With her extensive vision in the area of tourism and policy implementation, we are delighted for the opportunity to glean from her expertise at this year's Tourism Education Student Summit 2021. She will be sharing with us her thoughts and comments on the topic, Macau Tourism on Road to Recovery. Dear all, please join me in giving a resounding welcome to Dr. Maria Helena da Sena Fernandez.
Thank you very much, and thank you for IFT inviting me to this afternoon session. And I know you still have a very, very long afternoon ahead of you. So I'll try to share as much as possible about this topic, and allow me to also take out my mask. It's a little bit, especially with eyeglasses, it's a little bit complicated sometimes. But I'm very, very happy to be here. I know there will be no Q&A this afternoon, so it's an easier job for me, to be honest. I won't be grilled with a lot of questions. But in fact, if you indeed have questions eventually, just feel free to to tell your IFT colleagues or your lecturers, and then they can always present them to us eventually, and we will be glad to answer any of your questions. Today, as you know, I'll be talking a little bit about the road to recovery, although it's a little bit daunting now because over the last week, we've been seeing a lot of different reports, news reports coming in, and one of those news reports saying that Thailand is only predicting that they will return to pre-COVID-19 levels by 2026. It's very, very daunting, in fact. I hope we in Macau can have a slightly shorter time span to return to at least some normality, although it will take some time, I believe, for international travel. But at least with what we're doing, with what we're trying to achieve right now, I hope we will be able to get back to a little bit more visitors coming in, because I guess we badly need more of them. Today, very, very simply, because we only have a limited period of time, so I'll talk a little bit about the latest tourism situation, some numbers that we can share with you, and from these numbers, maybe you can also see different trends developing as we go along. They may be short-term trends. Some of them may eventually translate into more long-term trends as well. So it all depends. You will still have to observe. And then obviously I'll be talking about some of the tourism recovery strategies or the development strategies, and also some of the recovery measures, which I believe a lot of you in the room has all participated in as well. Okay, so first of all, in terms of the tourism situation, how does the situation look right now, or how do the numbers look right now? Well, as you all know, right now, I think it's still 51 cases as of today right now, hopefully no more. But we are actually predicting that there will be some more cases, imported cases coming in as we approach summer, and some of our students from overseas will return to Macau, or even from Taiwan, they will return to Macau. So this number luckily stays very, very low comparative to anywhere in the world, but we would expect some more cases to come in as we go along. As you all know, last year, as of August, we have started resuming more normal travel between ourselves and mainland China, starting with Zhuhai on August 12th, and then eventually moving on to the entire Guangdong, and very important date that we have to remember is the 23rd of September last year, where the entire mainland China reopened visa issuance to Macau. Although right now, why it seems that the numbers are not going up as we are expecting, it's because still for the visa issuance on the mainland, one, there is no what they call online visa issuance yet, and secondly, there are no group travel is still not allowed. If we have to cross borders, what they call that, and so. If we look at the numbers that I'll eventually share, before COVID-19, on average, 43% of the visitors from mainland China come here on an FIT permit. So the numbers, a lot of people are telling me, well, in terms of since there is no group travel, for the FIT numbers, in fact, we're not faring that bad. But since, overall, there are still very, very some difficulties in terms of the visa issuance process, so we cannot expect the numbers to go up very, very quickly still. Anyways, at least we have better days compared to last year. Last year, about this time, on average, we have only 200 visitors a day. So we have come quite a long way, compared to what we had last year. Obviously, there are still a lot of travel restrictions. If you are from, if you want to come back from a foreign country, if you are not a Macau resident, you are not allowed to come in. Simply said, unless there are some specific cases where you have to apply to the Health Bureau for exemption. But these are very, very rare cases, normally because of diplomatic issues. Apart from that, basically, if you are from Hong Kong, if you come to Macau, or any person that comes from Hong Kong to Macau, then it's a 14-day quarantine at this point. They change every day. So if you're from Taiwan, now it's 21 days. If you're from anywhere else in the world, it's 21 days. But specifically, if you are coming from the Philippines, I think Nepal, some of these more countries which they say that are very, very, there's a very high rate of infection, then it's a 28 plus 7 days. So it's a 28 days staying in the quarantine hotel plus 7 days, what they call self-medical observation. Just to check, any of you have stayed in any of our quarantine hotels? A show of hands? I haven't. Oh, did you like it, the experience? Not bad, right? Which hotel did you stay in? Yep. Sorry? Oh, Golden Dragon. Royal Dragon. Yeah. Any other hotels that you stayed in? What's that? Oh, Grand Coloane. Grand Coloane, I can tell you, they have, I believe, they have got the best, or they have got the most compliments from a lot of our, the persons who have stayed in any quarantine hotel. I saw Rutger just now, so he's left. Oh, hi. Oh, Sheraton Hotel, yes. Sheraton also has a very, very quite a lot of good compliments as well. So at this point in time, we only have 6 quarantine hotels. At the very, very peak, we have altogether 13. So at this point in time, it's the for those who want to choose your own hotel. So it is the Lisboeta. That's a new hotel altogether. The Regency, and then we have the Treasure Hotel, as well as Grand Coloane. So these are the 4 optional, what we call optional hotels for your own choice. The 2 hotels which are designated by the government are the Marina Infante and the China Hotel. We have to look at because of the coming summer months, we are still looking at possible other options as well, because of the very, very big numbers that we are expecting. So that's the current restrictions. So about the numbers, 2019 is the best year that we had in terms of visitor arrivals, 39.4 million. That's the highest anywhere, any time that we have achieved. And then out of those 39 million, 18 million were overnight stayers, and then 14 million stayed in hotels. And then come to 2020, last year, it's a 5.9 million total. But in fact, out of those 5.9 million, 3 million came in January last year. So in fact, we only had, after 3 million in January, we only had 2.9 million from February onwards to the end of the year. So you can imagine how slow, the road to recovery has been. Any idea, before the handover, how many visitors we had? The year of the handover, can anybody remember? Some of you are too young to remember, I know. For those, yeah? 7 million, yes. The best we had before the handover was in 1996. That was 8 million. And then afterwards, we had a little bit of an issue in terms of branding and all that. So at the turn of the century, we had about 7 million visitors. So we have actually gone back to pre-handover levels. So, but then in terms of the number of hotel rooms, whilst at the handover, there were only, the entire Macau, only about 9,000 rooms. Last year was about 41,000 rooms. So you can imagine how difficult it has been for any persons or any businesses in hospitality, in tourism. But at least I think things are going better. Even though we have only, I would say, less number of people, comparatively. But you can see the length of stay has actually gone up. From 2019, overall average length of stay 1.2 days. But then if you look at 2020, average for all visitors, 1.4 days. If you look at the overnight numbers, actually it's gone up to 2.8 days. That's for any person who stays overnight is about 2.8 on average length of stay, which we have never seen those numbers before. And if I give you the 2021 figures, look at the middle one, overnight stay visitors, 3 days stay in Macau on average now. Good for hotels, and I hope it stays that way. You know, we have to continue to. That has been one of our objectives for a long, long time. So at least this is some positive news for you to, for us to continue to work hard and hopefully we will be able to continue to get better results. And interestingly, you can see that for the overnight stay visitors, it's only 1.37 million people. But then, in fact, people who stayed in hotels was 1.45 million. So you can see, in fact, obviously we have some who are non-resident workers staying in hotels. Plus, we also have quite a good number of hotel staycation packages as well that the hotels are offering. So if you don't have other visitors, so you have to use your imagination and find other sources of businesses. So I think our industry has been very, very, very active and very, very creative to bring in new products to attract more people, especially our locals, to stay in your hotel properties. Okay, this is how it looks from January to May, going up, and the best day we achieved this year so far is the 1st of May. 1st of May, we had around 45,000 visitors that day. As I said, last year, the worst time, we had only about 200. So this year, the best day so far, 45,000 visitors. And on average right now, it's about, I think, 25,000 people a day, which is a lot better than what we have seen. When it was Chinese New Year, I think it was only about 12 or 13,000 visitors a day on average, because during Chinese New Year, the mainland they didn't actually forbid, but they told everybody that they should stay home during Chinese New Year, and so that's why there was pretty much no traveling, unfortunately for us. Okay, visitor arrivals, that's my biggest headache right now. 2 years ago, we were always talking about our objective to get more visitors from different parts of the world, and also to get more what we call different sources of visitors. However, if you look at this year, 100% Greater China. So basically, we have no visitors apart from Greater China, and the majority of them are from mainland China. But now nobody's complaining, because I think if we allow international visitors to come in, everybody will start complaining. So things do change very, very quickly from one day to another. Now, obviously, I can say, yes, we are happy if we can have any visitor from any part of the world, or particularly from the Greater China area. But then also we have to start preparing ourselves to see also how we can keep some form of visibility, some form of awareness in other parts of the world about Macau. Because if borders start to reopen, then we have to, we're already saying that we are going to have to fight with anywhere in the world to try to get visitors, because everybody is dying for visitors right now, any country that is engaged in tourism. So those are the hotel occupancy, average occupancies. The green line is for this year, the red line for last year, and obviously the blue line for 2019. On average, 90%. But basically, I think all hoteliers were enjoying a very good time, and you don't really need to do a lot of marketing, and then people just come. Nowadays, we have to do a lot of marketing, but still people don't really come that often. So there's a lot of work still to be done. Total visitor expenditure for last year, minus 78% on average. But just to show you another chart, we didn't have that chart. I had that for yesterday. In fact, although total visitor expenditure has gone down last year, but average expenditure per person has gone up. Last year, it has gone up about 20% on average for per person. This year, it has gone a double. So the average spending per visitor has actually doubled compared to what we had before. That's a good news because, unfortunately, that's because, simply said, they can't go to Hong Kong to buy stuff. They can't go anywhere in the world. You know, a lot of affluent Chinese visitors, they were already going to Paris, they were already going to the UK to buy branded goods. They can't go anywhere, so that's why we, at this particular window, we are benefiting from that as well. Okay, enough about the figures. So what are we, you know, what things are we engaged in right now in terms of the tourism department, and also what are the things that we are doing, you know, going forwards? In terms of the planning, in terms of our own planning or in terms of our own master plan, for those of you who remember, in 2017, we actually came up with the first Macau tourism industry master plan, and last year we told ourselves we needed to redo or revamp the master plan because of all the new situations, because of possibly new markets coming in. Today I can't share the new master plan yet because I've only seen that the draft plan, the draft revamp plan 2 days ago, but I believe that by come September, you'll be able to see probably a very, very much renewed version of the tourism master plan. One of the things that we are also waiting for is the possible changes to the management of Hung Chin Island. So that's something that we don't know exactly what will happen yet. We don't have any detail about that. So I believe this is something that everybody wants to know about, and with that also we'll complete our master plan in terms of its entire revamp. So yes, we have our current master plan. If you're interested in that, go to our website and you can get a copy of that, the long version as well as the condensed version as well. But then come September, we will have the new master plan with new numbers, new indicators as well coming into that. One of the things that we have explicitly decided to put in is a lot more performance indicators into the new or the revamped version of the master plan. So that will give us more objective analysis and as well as objective, well, I would say targets to move into. Then, of course, besides the master plan, the Greater Bay Area Development Plan, then we are also doing the construction of the Creative City of Gastronomy. This year, we have to submit our 4-year plan and also the 4-year report. I can say that it should look a very, very good report, at least in terms of the Creative City of Gastronomy. We've done quite a lot of work, not only the government, also IFT. IFT is also government, but also the private sector as well. So everybody has chipped into that. The unfortunate thing is the entire report can only be 18 pages according to the UNESCO. But the problem is that my colleagues have already written 26 pages. So I will be the bad person to kind of like take out a lot of good details, but things that we cannot just put all into the plan. So that has to be, you know, somebody has to be the bad guy to do that, right? Okay, apart from that, this year we have also engaged in what we call the Tourism Plus intersectorial integration. So going forwards also, you will see a lot more synergies between tourism and other sectors. Traditionally, we have worked very much with the cultural sector. We've worked very much with the sports area as well. But then I think going forwards, we have to work more with conventions and incentives, plus cultural creation, hopefully the creative industries as well. Plus also e-commerce. I think that's the name of the game right now. China mainland is very much engaged in e-commerce. Luckily, Macau is catching up. And definitely going forwards, e-commerce is one of the things that we are going to develop more in terms of the tourism area as well. We've done some projects already. You know, I won't go into details with the numbers. You can have the PowerPoint afterwards for your own reference. So you can actually go into all the details. And as we say, tourism plus sports. Come 1st of June, the museum will be entirely open. So we invite you to visit the museum. For locals, it's actually half price. You know, so take advantage of that and go to visit the museum. It's pretty interesting. And also for tourism recovery measures, I think a lot of these tourism recovery measures we find can be used in the future as well, or some things that we find that during the pandemic we need to engage in. So in the future, probably these will also be things or practices that will stay on. First of all, precision marketing. Nowadays, well, I would say previously, marketing, we do a lot of, we feel that there is a lot of wastage in terms of our marketing efforts, especially when we do blanket advertising, you know, those kinds of activities. Now, with the advent of e-commerce, e-platforms, we can actually do a lot more precisely targeting whichever group we want to. So even looking at China mainland, we used to treat it as one homogeneous market, but we do find that China is not exactly a very homogeneous market. There is quite a big difference from those who live on the coastal areas and those who live in the more inner parts of the mainland. So going forwards, we are trying to do more, we have to segment more the different sectors, as well as look at the different media usages and messages that will click in terms of different peoples. So those are the things that we feel definitely to go on. And the next thing, obviously, we need to, before selling Macau as a very interesting destination, the first thing we need to sell now is that Macau is a very safe destination. The marketing messages, we have recrafted a lot of them. We've also done a lot of new collaterals, especially new videos, because basically the mindset of people choosing whether or not to travel has changed quite a lot. So you need to reassure them that your place is safe enough, your place is good enough for them, and then, you know, before they decide whether or not to come. So I think going forwards, don't just think about, you know, using the traditional ways of marketing or the traditional messages. Nowadays, the entire consumer behavior is also changing. So I guess we have to change accordingly as well. And then, as you know, we are also doing a lot of Macau weeks in different parts of China, because that's the only market we can do. And we've engaged last year with a lot of online promotions. Online promotions are good. You can stay at home and do everything completely. And if you participate in meetings, you don't need to dress up very well as well, you know, because you're in a Zoom meeting. Anybody dresses up for a Zoom meeting? Yep. Nope. Nope. Yeah, actually, because normally a Zoom meeting only sees, like, you know, this part of you, right? So as long as you look very, very nice, you know, there, you know, the rest would be fine. And obviously, you know, it's a lot more casual when you're sitting, you know, by yourself, you know, during a Zoom meeting. But then we do believe the Zoom part of the event will stay maybe forever, because it also opens avenues into other possible participants. But at the same time, we also feel that, you know, in order to invite people to come to your place, you can't just always do it online. You have to have the personal touch. So we are restarting already a lot of Macau weeks in Hangzhou, in Jiangsu recently, and then coming up, I still have 6 cities to run this year, thanks to a lot of our partners, our industry partners. They are also joining us. But then every city nowadays, before, I think we only used to do about one Macau week every year. Now we're doing 8 Macau weeks this year, so in 8 different cities. Why? Because we feel the need to go back and reassure people and reassure that we want their business. And make them feel that, oh yes, Macau is really coming in person to invite me to come back to your destination. So they, although I think that there's a lot of things that you can do online, but there's nothing to substitute the human touch and the human kind of interaction. So whilst we are doing a lot of interesting or creative things online, but still just go there and people will respond to your invitation. And then, of course, we have right now, I hope everybody will have the opportunity to take part as well. This is also part of the work besides inviting visitors to come in, because there are less numbers of visitors. We also want to use our own local people to stay in our hotels, to go around town to eat, to go around town to tour, so that we can also try to help the tourism industry. So the government is also subsidizing that, so please make use of that. There will be new tours coming up very, very soon for July and August, particularly. We hope that there will be more DIY stuff, more things that you can do with family, and obviously more staycation options. Those are the different tours as well. But because of these tours, we also find there are some interesting things that we can translate into tourism packages. So very recently, after we have launched the Stay, Dine, and See Macau program this year, we've also now, before that, actually, we've also translated some of them into highlight tours for visitors. So now there are new, we've just launched like 2 weeks ago, the new highlight tours actually can be sold as local tour packages. The local tours have not changed over the past 20, 25 years. All of a sudden, because of the pandemic and because of all these new tours that come in with Stay, Dine, and See Macau, and last year's, Macau Ready Go packages, we are able to come up with new packages like helicopter rides, or what else do we get? And there's a new tour to go around town with the Macau tourism mascot as well. So all these are able to be launched into the industry because there, well, we always see there's always a silver lining, in every cloud. It's a very, very bad time, in the pandemic, but, try to make use of the pandemic to do some also good for the local, for our local industry as well. So I guess these are some of the good things that have come out of the pandemic as well. And finally, this year we will also try to support and make the streets nicer in Macau. This is also part of the recovery program. We will be working with some of the local districts to do some street art, permanent or semi-permanent street art stuff, so that people, when they go around town, the city looks nicer. There are places for them to take photos of themselves and brag about, and tell people to come. And also we will be doing some kinds of small fun fairs around town in order to bring more visitors to different parts of the city. So as you can see, on the road to recovery, there are a lot of things that we can work together. And I also think that let your imagination just flow, and with different imagination, in fact, we can come up with new products, new packages, or new stuffs that we have never thought about before. Who would have thought about doing a helicopter ride in Macau? Previously, for those of you who might not know, previously the helicopters have been so well, their business has been so well that they are selling for one trip from, a one-way trip from Macau to Hong Kong. It's a 4,000 pataka ride. Right now, because of the pandemic, we can enjoy the helicopter ride with the government subsidy at about 500 patakas. So you can imagine, what the pandemic has, although it has done a lot of bad, but it has also done a lot of good, in a different sense. So let's all work together, and I hope that, with our students, definitely you can come up with a lot more new ideas for us. And I look forward to listening to more of your good ideas or good initiatives, so that we can also all work together, and maybe in the future the tourism of Macau has an even brighter way going forward. So thank you very much for having me, and enjoy the rest of your program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Fernandez, for your wonderful presentation, sharing with us all these numbers that I'm sure that will, initiate even more brilliant students' research in the coming year, and also all these recovery measures that MGTO has taken. As Director Fernandez has mentioned, we have to work hand in hand together to recover, make Macau thrive again. In this time, I would like to ask Madam Director to remain on stage briefly, because I would like to invite our President, IFTM President Dr. Fanny Wong, to present a small token to show our appreciation to Dr. Fernandez. Thank you again, Dr. Fernandez. There's no doubt that your insight will be beneficial to both academic colleagues and industry professionals, both present and future. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon's simultaneous panel presentation sections will begin promptly at 3:10. Please consult your program to determine which presentation venue you would like to attend. Again, please note that each presentation will not exceed 20 minutes of time, so you can target the presentation of your choice. Our helpers will be outside of each venue to guide you and answer any questions you might have. At 4:10, there will be a brief refreshment section served in the ballroom foyer just outside the presentation venues, and followed by the second simultaneous panel sections at 4:30. We will then all reconvene again at 5:30 in this event, in this venue, for the Best Paper Certificate Awards. Dear all, please enjoy the afternoon. Congratulations again to all awardees and all of your supervisors. Thank you very much. Awardees, please be seated. Dr. Fanny Wong, may I ask you to remain on stage briefly, as we are now about to acknowledge our co-sponsor. As mentioned, I would now like to call up onto the stage the Executive Vice President of Human Resources of MGM Macau, Ms. Wendy Yu, our 2021 Test Summit co-sponsor, without whom the success of today's event would not be possible, to receive a token of our heartfelt appreciation. Thank you both. Now, please be seated. Thank you. All right, once again, thank you very much for your kind support and participation. We look forward to seeing you all again next year. Now, may I invite all of the students, presenters, keynote speakers, industry leaders, honored guests, and invited delegates, and observers and attendees to the stage for a final group photo to conclude the TED Summit 2021 event.